The Divine Spirit is everywhere and always present. It is here in this space, in this very moment. It makes itself known through us, as us, and by means of us. There is nowhere that Spirit is not. Spirit is our perfection. If we forget who we really are, we need only remember. In an instant, we return home to our truth. Today in truth, we celebrate our oneness in thought, word, and in action. Good morning, everyone. When my hands are in my pocket, I'm working on a really big issue, and I almost had the answer. One more second and it would have been gone. No, I'm really deep in contemplation today. Yesterday was very moving, and so many things remind me of the greatness of life and the movement of life and the special opportunity I get to be with people who are grounded in the same philosophy that I've lived my life. And so I'm in a very contemplative place still today, and I think that that's good, right? It's okay where you are. And it was a great celebration yesterday, and it really captured a spirit or an essence of that person that I knew and know and what she meant to me. We're reading the Science of Mind textbook, a little section every day for this year. And today's reading starts at chapter 21, which is called Some Phases of the Subjective Life. Some Phases of the Subjective Life. And if you study our principle or philosophy at all, you know we believe in the subjective and the objective states of mind. This is a really, really great chapter. And I want you all to go home and read this week. So pull out your Science of Mind textbooks and read this whole chapter. It's not very long. But Ernest Holmes, if there's several parts of the textbook that are really rich in his reasoning and his rationale. And this one is one of those, and it makes so much sense. And when I saw it, and we talked about it in our class, I was just brought back to my early days of being a student and finding some of these sections so rich. So I wanted to read a couple of short paragraphs just to lead us into our morning service. Ernest Holmes says, "We do not have two minds, but we do have a dual aspect of mentality in that which we call objective and subjective states of mind. The objective mind is that part of the mentality which functions consciously. So our objective selves are the conscious mind. It is the part of us which is self-knowing, and without it we would not be self-conscious entities. Our conscious mind is the place where we consciously live, and where we are aware we are living. Our conscious mind is where we consciously live, and we are aware of it." And then he says that this is spirit. I love that. So right now, where we are, we're conscious and we're engaged. He's saying we are spirit right now. That's beautiful for me. Then he says our subjective mind is our mental emanation of the universal subjectivity. Universal subjectivity. That takes a little bit of work to dig around to understand the universal subjectivity. But we believe there's one mind. We're all connected in the one mind. And the universal subjectivity is that mind that we are all connected into. He says it is our individual use of mental law. We certainly do not, this is really cool, so we certainly do not wish to deviate from that which psychology teaches about the mind of man. Isn't that neat? Ernest Holmes is writing in his textbook, he's referencing the current science of mental work in psychology and psychiatry. It's fantastic. He says, we certainly do not wish to deviate from that which psychology teaches about the mind of man in its conscious, subconscious, or subconscious states. But here's what he says, we merely wish to add this, in italics. The reason we have a subjective mind is that subjectivity existed in the universe prior to our use of it, and where we use it, it forms around us as a subjective personification of ourselves. That is beautiful, if you could hear that. It may take a little bit of study, Good luck, Dr. Michael, on that one if you discuss that. The universal subjectivity, the universal oneness wraps itself around each one of us. It personalizes itself as us and through us. And so our subjective mind, our subjective self, is just part of the larger subjective mind, the one mind. But I love the idea of it wraps around us. The law wraps around us. We individualize it. We make it creative. And that is why I think, as spirit, it's so important that we live our most unique, expressive selves out loud in the world. And I know you all do that, because you follow me while we do that too, and I follow you. Our purpose is to be the most perfect and expressive, creative expressions of spirit, so that spirit can express. And so I'd like to take that moment and go into our morning prayer. And this is how I'm going to do it this morning. We always do a minute of silent meditation, and the practitioner goes through the basic 5 steps. And what I would like to do is I'm going to do the basic 5 steps very briefly and pause between them and give you about 20 seconds in between the steps to contemplate the words that I speak. So you'll follow me as we do this. It's a little bit different this morning. So first let's start with some quiet meditation.
Invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in Raul Ruiz's campaign.
Sean Penn, a close ally of anti-American pro-Palestinian dictator Hugo Chavez, has raised thousands for Ruiz.
Even the left-wing billionaire Soros family is pouring tens of thousands into Ruiz's campaign. Why?
In this precious moment, in this moment of knowing, in this moment of truth, we recognize that there is one power, one presence, one love, one source of all life, one source of my life. And I know that this power, this presence, this love moves through me, lives through me, acts through me, manifests through me. I know that I am expressing spirit, expressing love fully in my present, everyday, human, spiritual experience. And I declare right now that all of the attributes of this great oneness, the love, the joy, the harmony, the abundance, the health, every single one of these attributes is demonstrating in my life fully. I know that the power of the presence of Spirit is pressing in and through me and is demonstrating and manifesting in fullness. And in knowing this truth and living this truth, I sense an immense, eternal, incredible thanksgiving. From deep within myself, I find this special sense of gratitude for the greatness that this truth delivers and manifests in my life. And knowing that there is only one, and knowing that my thought, my intention has already been set into motion in law, I know now that